Miracle Morning Millionaires, Hal Elrod and David Osborne. Do you struggle to get out of bed in the morning? Do you consider yourself a night owl and believe there's nothing you can do about it? Then you're in the same position as David Osborne, one of the authors of Miracle Morning Millionaires, once was. After changing his habits, Osborne realized that getting up early is the key to getting rich. So get ready to learn how to make the most of your mornings. Why mornings matter. Believe it or not, there is a connection between mornings and wealth. One of the authors, David Osborne, quickly realized this when opening his first business. He had always been a night owl, but while his work consumed most of his evenings, he also wanted to spend time with his family in the mornings. He realized that in order to make the most of his day, he would have to seize the mornings. You may have already heard the popular personal financial advice of pay yourself first. If you wait until the end of the month before putting some money away, there will probably be nothing left. The same advice is true for your time. Your time can be used for self-development or for other activities that you enjoy, such as spending time with family and friends. But usually, when you try to make time later in the day for these things, it will have been consumed by other activities such as work. That is why it is so important to set some time apart for yourself first thing in the morning. Osborne says, miracle mornings are like paying yourself first in wisdom, productivity, and clarity. Your morning sets the tone for the rest of your day, and the world around you lives in daylight. So to make the most out of your time, stop being a night owl. On top of that, studies have shown that getting up earlier increases your productivity and you become more proactive. Professor Christoph Randler from Heidelberg University in Germany found that people whose performance peaks in the morning are better positioned for career success because they're more proactive than people who are at their best in the evening. Making use of miracle mornings will also help you anticipate problems and even give you more energy. So, how can you make the most of your mornings? How to become a morning person. You probably know the feeling. Going to bed in the evening, you're full of energy and you cannot wait to get up the next morning and do all the amazing things you have planned. And then, sooner than you expected, your shrill alarm clock pulls you out of a deep sleep. Within seconds, all your motivation is flushed down the drain. This is when the process of rationalization sets in. It only takes seconds for your brain to convince you that it is okay to sleep a few minutes more. You hit the snooze button, turn around, and try to get some more sleep. But as stand-up comedian Demetri Martin has pointed out, if you really think about it, hitting the snooze button in the morning doesn't even make sense. It's like saying, I hate getting up in the morning, so I do it over and over and over again. When it comes to morning routines, people can be sorted into two camps, overwhelm and underwhelm. In the overwhelmed camp, people are characterized by frantically struggling to catch up after having very reluctantly left the bed in the morning. Those in the camp underwhelm, on the other hand, lack goals and drive, will sleep in, and will procrastinate through the day at every opportunity. No matter what camp you're in, you probably feel like you can never get as much done as you want to. Some people struggle to get up in the morning because there is simply nothing that motivates them to get out of bed. But fear not, there is a way in which you can simply increase your wake-up motivation level, WUML, and it does not take more than 5 minutes. Minute 1. Set your intentions before you go to bed. Your first thought in the morning will be the same as your last one in the evening. Minute 2. Get out of bed to turn the alarm off. Minute 3. Brush your teeth. Do not go back to bed, but go straight to the bathroom. Minute 4. Drink a glass of water. You're dehydrated after 8 hours of sleep and therefore tired. Minute 5. Either get dressed in your workout clothes or jump in the shower. Lifesavers. With your WUML increased, you have now gotten up early and you have the entire morning ahead of you. So how do you use this time to become wealthy? A few years ago, one of the authors, Hal Elrod, went through a difficult time. He had hit rock bottom for the second time in his life when his business failed in the 2008 financial crash. The first time he had hit rock bottom was when he died for 6 minutes in a car crash at the age of 20. None of the practices Elrod knew about at that time seemed to help him get back to his normal self, so he went out to look for the 6 best personal development practices and started to do them every single morning. These are the lifesavers described in this book. Within 2 months, he had achieved miraculous results. He had more than doubled his income and was also training for a 52-mile ultra marathon, although he had never enjoyed running before. The Lifesavers, SAVERS, can help you as well. Practicing these every morning will give you clarity and put you into your peak state every single day, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So here they are. 1. Silence. Rather than letting your morning be consumed by noise, take a step back and enjoy the silence with meditation, prayer, or deep breathing. 2. Affirmations. To maintain the right mindset, start the morning by repeating your goals to yourself, who you want to be and how you're going to achieve this. 3. Visualization. Create a powerful image in your head of your future. Concentrate on your visualization. The brain cannot tell the difference between imagination and reality. 4. Exercise. Even a few minutes of exercise can have a profound effect on your overall well-being. 5. Reading. Find successful people as role models, read their publications, and learn from their examples. 6. Scribing. Write down the things you are grateful for and document your personal growth. The secret of becoming a millionaire. Imagine you're a participant in a game show and you've made it to the final round. You're in for the big prize, $1 million tax-free. All you have to do is choose between 2 doors. But just as you're about to make the choice, it gets even better. The game master tells you that the prize is behind the left door. All you have to do now is choose the left door and you will be a millionaire. Believe it or not, this fictional game show actually demonstrates the choices you have in real life. Becoming wealthy is your choice. There is a difference between wanting and choosing. Wanting to be a millionaire often makes people blow their money on quick fix schemes that promise them wealth but do not actually deliver any. If you really want to become a millionaire, you will have to choose to be one by doing 3 things. Start and grow a business, invest in real estate, and keep your job as a safety net. Once you've made the active choice to become wealthy, your actions and decisions will all lead you down that path. Sounds easy enough, right? But maybe, like many others, you're struggling to transform your financial life. That is because humans are a lot like hermit crabs. Since hermit crabs have no natural protection, they've evolved to live in others' shells. But when they grow, they will have to change their shells as well. Our shells as humans are not physical, but mental. We've grown into a box of mindsets and beliefs that have developed from habits. If you want to make a change in your life and you want to become wealthy, you will have to take a risk and find a bigger shell, just like hermit crabs expose their soft bodies for a short period of time to move to a bigger home. To find a bigger box, it can help to focus on your vision. What is it that you want in life? Create a plan. Once you've realized your vision, it's time to create a flight plan. Planes need 2 pieces of information to reach their destination: the goal, destination, and a map of how to get there. So your personal flight plan is a combination of your goals and the steps you need to take to get there. A goal without a plan results in short-lived excitement, while a plan without a goal only creates empty busyness in your life. That is why Osborne keeps a journal. The front section is dedicated to his thoughts, while the back section focuses on his goals. He did not start out as a born goal setter, but he's perfected the art over time. One thing to remember is to set your goals only when you're in a peak state. This is when you feel your best and you have increased awareness, mood, and energy. Setting goals in this state will allow you to set better goals and be more motivated to achieve them. You also need to remain flexible and to continually review your goals to see if they still serve you. Finally, reward yourself when you've achieved a milestone. Now that you have set your goals, it comes to planning how to reach them. In your plans, it's important to always have the smallest next step. Baby steps to your goal work like compound interest. They multiply. For all the planning, however, you will still probably have days when you feel there are not enough hours to get everything done. The authors have a few simple strategies to optimize your time usage. One of those is to assign ABC priorities to all your tasks, with A being the highest and C being the lowest priority. And then just work on the A's. No matter how difficult these tasks, always focusing on the top priorities will actually allow you to get more done in your day. This is not simply time management or prioritization. It is the realization of a maxim that every would-be millionaire has to learn. To become wealthy, you need to learn to get more from the resources you have. Final notes. It is your choice whether you want to become a millionaire or not, but the first step on this journey is to start seizing the mornings. Instead of continuously hitting the snooze button, start your day with a routine involving meditation, reading, and exercise. You will see that you'll become much more proactive and productive by adopting a miracle morning. And you can use the time to become a millionaire as well. 12-minute tip. Start keeping a journal to keep track of your development and your goals. Becoming Supernatural. How Common People Are Doing the Uncommon by Joe Dispeneza. In 2014, a team of researchers from Ohio University wrapped the wrists of 30 volunteers in surgical casts for 1 month. Half of the volunteers were asked to do nothing in particular, and half were asked to practice mental imagery exercises for 11 minutes a day, 5 days a week, visualizing the flexing of their immobilized wrist muscles while actually remaining completely still. At the end of the experiment, the muscles of the imagery group were twice as strong as those of the control group. In Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispeneza claims that rather than treating it as an isolated case, we should treat this interesting study as a portal to understanding the immense potential of our thoughts. Get ready to discover, through one exceptional story and an explanation almost as intriguing as the narrative, why you already have the anatomy, chemistry, and physiology you need to become supernatural, sitting latent within you, waiting to be awakened and activated. Stress and Stressors, Zebras and Humans. Back in 2007, Anna Willems worked as a manager and board member for a major psychiatric institution in Amsterdam. She was a happily married mother of 2 beautiful children, a 12-year-old boy and an 11-year-old daughter. Life seemed almost idyllic to her when one June afternoon, seemingly not unlike many others, 2 police officers rang her doorbell. They asked if they could come in and talk to her. She obliged. Then they delivered some terrifying news. Earlier that morning, her husband had jumped to his death from one of the tallest buildings in Amsterdam. That's when her daydream reality turned into a nightmare. Anna couldn't come to terms with the trauma, not just at that moment, but even over the course of the following 4 years. She kept reliving that same day over and over again in her mind, so her body kept reliving the day as well. That is not an exaggeration, but precisely what happens when the hormones of stress take over. Quite literally, our body goes into survival mode. When a zebra sees a lion, her sympathetic nervous system turns on, and her body gathers together an enormous amount of energy in response to the danger of being eaten. Glucose is immediately released into the bloodstream, and most of the blood flow is diverted away from the internal organs to the extremities. In the presence of a lion, a zebra should only be able to run, fight, or hide. That's what survival mode is. Our sympathetic nervous system reacts in pretty much the same way when exposed to stressors. Our pupils dilate, our heart and respiratory rates increase, blood moves from the rational forebrain to our hindbrain, adrenaline and cortisol flood the muscles. However, there is one enormous difference between a zebra and a human being, and it concerns the future. Namely, once a zebra loses a lion, her body turns to balance almost immediately. She is neither afraid of the lion that may attack her 2 days later, nor does she go over past near-death experiences. Simply put, her mind isn't built to work that way, and neither is her body. Animals cannot endure living in emergency mode for extended periods of time. Well, in truth, neither can humans, and yet most of us do just that. Endure life rather than live it. Anna Willems learned the pitfalls of such a life the difficult way. Opening the door to the supernatural. The case of Anna Willems. Taken over by her stress hormones, Anna embarked on a downward spiral of despair and decline after her husband's suicide. She kept living in the past in her mind, and her body couldn't propel her toward the future. In fact, the opposite happened. By reliving the traumatic event in her thoughts, Anna repeatedly fed her body with a cocktail of harmful stress chemicals, so living in emergency mode became the new default, and it was for 4 years. During this period, she ended up losing her job, her house, and her money. She started taking all sorts of medications, but that only made things worse. On March 21, 2008, Anna woke up paralyzed from the waist down. Not being able to find anything, the doctors told her it was an autoimmune condition. Because of her repeated inner conflict, writes Dispeneza, Anna's immune system was attacking her body. She had finally physically manifested the pain and suffering she'd emotionally experienced in her mind. In short, Anna could not move her body because she wasn't moving forward in her life. She was stuck in her past. Being stuck in the past is a sure recipe for clinical depression, which is what Anna was diagnosed with in 2009. A year later, she found herself in a dysfunctional relationship with a man who traumatized her and her children. And since she'd lost her house, she had no choice but to move in with him. To make matters worse, because she had become addicted to her stress hormones, Anna tolerated the relationship. In fact, she couldn't find joy in normal interactions. Understandably, her stress levels continued to climb, culminating in January 2011 with an esophageal cancer diagnosis. After her first chemotherapy session, Anna had a complete emotional and mental breakdown. It was then that she decided to change her life. After visiting one of Dispenza's workshops and hearing how our thoughts and feelings affect our bodies and our lives, she knew precisely where to start, inside her own mind. If I created the life I have now, she mused, including my paralysis, my depression, my weakened immune system, my ulcerations, and even my cancer, maybe I can uncreate everything with the same passion I created it with. And indeed, over the following year, she succeeded in healing herself completely. First, she replaced her medications with meditations, and then her fear of the future with optimistic visualizations about her tomorrow. As the stressors faded into oblivion, the paralysis, the depression, and the ulcerations subsided. In the end, even the cancer disappeared. Anna is back to her best now, fit and healthy, financially independent, and in a warm, loving relationship. All thanks to her thoughts. The thinking-feeling loop. They ascribe the following quote to Chinese mystic Lao Tzu: "Watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. Watch your character, it becomes your destiny." It is unlikely Lao Tzu ever said it, but whoever did said something profoundly true, not just in philosophical, but also in scientific terms. At least that's what Dispeneza says. To quote him, thoughts cause biochemical reactions in your brain that release chemical signals, and those chemical signals make the body feel exactly the way you were just thinking. Those feelings then cause you to generate more thoughts that make you feel the same way you were just thinking. So your thoughts drive your feelings, and your feelings drive your thoughts, and eventually, this loop hardwires your brain into the same patterns, which conditions your body into the past. And because emotions are a record of past experiences, if you can't think greater than how you feel, this thinking-feeling loop keeps you anchored to your past and creates a constant state of being. This is how the body becomes the mind, or in time, how your thoughts run you and your feelings own you. So in other words, your body isn't built to differentiate between the past and the future. Only your mind is. However, most of the time, in an attempt to conserve energy, your body follows your mind quite blindly. You learn only once to ride a bike or drive a car. Then the patterns are transferred from your conscious, thinking brain to your subconscious mind and your autonomic nervous system. Repeat the patterns enough times and they become engraved, not merely as programs, but as habits. We may learn consciously, but mostly we perform unconsciously. Therefore, by the time we reach our mid-30s, the majority of who we are becomes a memorized set of automatic thoughts, reflective emotional reactions, unconscious habits and behaviors, subconscious beliefs and perceptions, and routine, familiar attitudes. Put another way, even though the body has been programmed by the mind to act in a certain way, it is the body and not the conscious mind that is running the show most of the time. Dispeneza claims that 95% of us is in a subconscious body-mind program. It is not that the conscious 5% of us is negligible or inconsequential, but if you would really like to change your life, you must delve deep inside yourself and well beyond your analytical mind. As usual, meditation is the key. Priming your mind and body for a new future. Think of your body as a computer. The essential processes, such as breathing, digestion, or heart rate, are stored in your autonomic nervous system, ANS. Your ANS acts almost exclusively unconsciously, meaning by default you're not allowed to meddle with it by way of your thoughts and conscious brain, because any mistake on your part might end up being fatal. What if you forgot to breathe, for example? But then again, it's the same with computers. You're not allowed to tamper with vitally important system processes because switching them off might lead to harmful consequences for the health of your computer. Of course, if you have the privileges of an administrator, or say you are a hacker, there's nothing that can stop you from reprogramming any process on your computer. Well, the same is true for your body as well. As we already explained, your mind can communicate with your body. This communication is enabled by way of 5 brain waves: alpha, beta, theta, delta, and gamma, and 8 energy centers, each of which is constantly emitting different electromagnetic frequencies. The first of these energy centers is located in the reproductive area and governs the region of the sex organs. The second is behind and slightly below the navel and governs digestion and consumption. The third energy center is located in the pit of your gut and governs the stomach and the intestines. The fourth is behind your breastbone and governs the heart and lungs. The fifth energy center is located at the center of your throat and governs the thyroid gland. The sixth is at the back of your head and governs the pineal gland, called the third eye by Hindus. The seventh and penultimate energy center includes the pituitary gland and is located in the center of your head. The final energy center is located about 16 inches or 40 centimeters above the head and represents your connection to the cosmos. We spend most of the time awake and conscious in the range of beta frequencies. Unfortunately, they're unable to communicate with anything but your conscious brain. Alpha brain waves, on the other hand, appear when you're daydreaming or imagining. As Dispeneza says, if beta brain waves indicate when you're placing the majority of your attention on your outer world, alpha brain waves indicate when you're placing more of your attention on your inner world. The key to entering your subconscious is moving from beta brain waves to alpha brain waves. Then, claims Dispeneza, you'll be able to reach the operating system of the ANS and reprogram each center to work in a more harmonious manner. This can be done through different types of meditations, visualizations, and mental rehearsals. Dispeneza claims that he himself regained normal movement after suffering debilitating spinal injuries solely through the power of his brain. What you put your attention on and mentally rehearse over and over again, he concludes, not only becomes who you are from a biological perspective, but it also determines your future. Final notes. Hailed as unique, practical, and even paradigm-altering by numerous best-selling self-help authors, Becoming Supernatural, at least in our opinion, leaves a lot to be desired. Dispeneza admits straight away that his ideas go against established scientific findings and theories, but he doesn't offer enough evidence to challenge them. Big claims require big proofs, and anecdotes are no proofs at all. Moreover, and we liked this part even less, the life-altering meditations and mental rehearsals that should help you tap into the power of your brain and body are never fully explained, and you're advised to buy additional books and CDs to put the pieces of the puzzle together. We doubt even that would make a significant difference. Becoming Supernatural opens far more questions than it can answer than really any book ever has. 12-minute tip. Be joyful. As Joe Dispeneza claims, something as simple as moving into an elevated state of joy, love, inspiration, or gratitude for 5 to 10 minutes a day can produce significant epigenetic changes in your health and body.